Nation, Shizzle Sherlock back again with him back again with the slackness. Back again with what appears to be something that a female should be wearing. Let's make this clear. I am not saying Shizzley is a swimmer around. Of course not. Them man they are what we call a gallis. But at the same time, what is this Shizzle say wear? Shizzle move as if him live in Scotland as a Jamaican. Shizzle one look Scottish, but more look like a 16-year-old schoolgirl from England them called Tish. And this look like bad girl Tish lean up on a corner. Once again, this is not a Shizzley or fish kind of settings. We done cover that already and know say Shizzle straight. But at the same time, a slackness this. The man is all about fashion, yes, but certain fashion, as a Jamaican, you should leave alone. Last time you dressed in something that a 5-year-old put on just before she go to bed. Now you come again in a Scottish quilt or kilt or I don't remember what it's called. But Shizzle, you are not Scottish. You are Jamaican. You have to stop it. Then look what you are going to do right here, so with the the man really hold the hand of the kilt and spread it like Nation, you know what? We're moving on. Cindy Breakspeare. Y'all know Cindy Breakspeare, one of Bob's baby mother, one of Bob Marley's ex-woman, the mother of Junior Gang. Still Nation, before we get to the interview, just know that the interview was shared on social media. And I realize many are saying that Cindy Breakspeare, proudest and boldest side chick ever. At first I was wondering, what are they talking about? Until I listened to the interview, and best believe, Cindy is a very proud woman and would not change a thing in her life, not how she go about it, not how it ended. Cindy loved it all. Let us get to the interview. The interview seemed to mostly be about the Bob Marley movie. And Cindy Breakspeare are they shown in the movie, shown about 3 times to be exact. But the interview started off with Cindy Breakspeare basically confirming that the post she made on Bob Marley's birthday after the movie. One of the reasons why she did that is because of how she felt. How they kinda trampled her image, made it seem as if she was nothing in Bob's life in the movie.
It was tough, but one of my favorite mantras to live by in life is that your principles only mean something, Anthony, if you stand by them when it's not convenient. And I could not have anybody trample all over me and just go on as if it was okay.
So Cindy did as she had always done on Bob's birthday, post a heartfelt tribute on social media.
Cindy then went on to speak about how she appeared in many documentaries about Bob, interviews and so on, but she made it clear, whenever she see for doing an interview, they always came to her. And that is how she knows she's an important part of Bob Marley's story.
To count the number of interviews and films that I have been in about Bob and who he was and what he was all about. And I've never, ever, once, ever in all these years solicited any of those journalists or filmmakers. They always found me, sought me out, and insisted that they wanted to speak with me. So I know it's not my imagination that I had a valid role to play.
Cindy was asked if she ever feel guilty about putting herself with a married man. Bob Marley, of course, who was married to Rita at the time.
Did you succumb to guilt at any point?
No. I did not pursue Bob Marley. He pursued me. And he always maintained, and you can hear him say it clearly in the Kevin MacDonald documentary, that he was not married.
I understand you're married. Are you married?
No.
I did come to know that he was in fact legally married. I think it was his mom that probably told me. But by then there was Damien. There was no turning back. I couldn't send him back. So what you going to do? Maybe I was just more comfortable ignoring the truth, deluding myself. You know how it is. Sometimes we ignore what we don't want to face, what we don't want to deal with. Look, man, that was nearly 50 years ago. You know, it's ancient history now. In my world, I don't want anybody trying to change history. It was what it was.
No, when it comes to the Bob Marley movie, according to Cindy Breakspeare, how they depicted her in the movie, this is how she felt.
I think I ended up being a nameless, voiceless ghost. Bob did have a wife, and being a wife is also a very important thing to a particular segment of our society. Not only that, I think you have to remember that People don't know who many of the other mothers of the outside children are. The fact that Bob had 11 children with 7 different women. So there's me and there's Rita. Tell me who the others are. Tell me who the others are. Do they have a public profile? So it's easy to zero in on me.
She also spoke on Bob Marley not being depicted for who he is, and there were a few important people were cut from the movie, including Peter Tosh and Alan Skillcole, who was his former manager.
I'm not sure that Bob's single-mindedness of purpose and his edginess, that sharp edge that his character had, was really captured. I think that all you really had to do was tell the truth. That's all you really had to do. And you'd have had a great movie. And sadly, it was not critically acclaimed, as everybody knows. Not me say so. It was not critically acclaimed.
Did the movie do a disservice to you?
Yes, I think if I am to be honest, I would say so. I was in a relationship with Bob for 6 years at the end of his life. And, I wasn't the only one, I think, who felt hard done by. There were other people in the story who were cut out at the last minute. Peter Tosh being one of them. I don't think he saw much of Skill, who we just lost. So it kind of was condensed to a particular product. And I think that there were many of us who felt hard done by at the end of it.
As mentioned, she stated that Bob Marley should have been depicted for who he is, because he's just a man, and no man on this earth is perfect. So if you're going to share a story, share everything about his story, even the flaws.
But you must always remember that he was a man. He was just a man, a human being like the rest of us. And we all have our idiosyncrasies, faults, failings, shortcomings, whatever you want to call them, There is no perfect person walking this earth, and there never was. So a lot of the story was missing. A lot of it was missing. And I've heard other people who've been asked to comment and say it clearly. So what do you think was missing? One person said, Bob!
Miss Breakspeare then went on to speak about what bothered her the most about the movie, while adding that the relationship that she had with Bob Marley, how it was shown in the movie, it is far from the truth.
I can only express what was my personal disappointment. I think I was seen maybe a grand total of 3 times, standing in a doorway, sitting on a sofa in the back of the studio, and in a photograph which was actually fictitious, because I was wearing a swimsuit with a sash over it, saying Miss World or something, and Bob was standing beside me. No such picture was ever taken. So that was manufactured for the purpose. So perhaps they felt that of all the women who had children with Bob, outside children, I actually should probably be grateful that I actually got a look in any at all. But the representation was nothing compared to the actual relationship that we shared.
Nation, I feel as if this part of the interview might have shocked a lot of people, because some people might want to pretty up the past a bit. Them heads how they were thinking at the time, how they had big dreams and goals that they wanted to work for. But Miss Cindy Breakspeare kept it real. She wasn't on none of that shit. Cindy told us that she had us them time and she never planned to study or work for shit. She was always a female seeking the opportunity. And when Bob presented the opportunity, of course, she took it up with no regrets.
It's been a great ride. As a young woman, I never had very long-term goals. Like I wasn't going to put in 8 years of university to become a doctor, for example. I was a young woman who was always looking for an opportunity. And whatever door opened, I would walk through it. I've always been somebody who seizes the day. I'm not interested in looking so far down the road.
Nation, here are Anthony Miller Dangerous, and why I dub him as one of the best interviewer out there. Not afraid to ask the questions. Don't matter who you are. Cindy was asked about her daughter Leah.
Has Leah sort of followed in your footsteps? In terms of that engagement with the kinds of examples of Jamaica that we're not supposed to engage with?
It has been said. People have said, well, what do you expect? You don't see what our mother did. It has been said. She's very much her own person.
No, Nation, if you never know, Well, most people know. Well, you should all know. But just a reminder, Leah Tavares was with Dark Pa. And I don't need to tell you who Dark Pa was. Sure y'all know. And the reason I say was, he was killed by the police. But Leah was with Dark Pa. And then along the line, she was with Javilani. I think during Dark Pa's incarceration. At the time, it said that Javilani is a bad man, that's why she love with the song which states, we are real bad man, that's why she love we. She don't want the money, she just want fuck we. We don't need vehicle for take them girl. There were whispers at the time saying that Javilani did that song boasting about his relationship with Leah Tavares. I boast on the individual. She say her man a bad man, me say the Dan a devil fame. Say she want to roll with the Javi 17. I saw the song, I don't I don't even remember. But people were saying at the time, oh, what kind of man them is such a nice uptown girl, daughter of Cindy Breakspeare and Tom Tavares, junior gang sister. How you manage to have a relationship with bad man? Put yourself with a man who society not expect you to be with.
Yeah, I guess she'll tell you she got that from me. So I'll own it. That's fine. That's my handbag.
Is there discomfort there?
Right now, no. I mean, things will always happen in life, Anthony, that are going to rock your world for a while. We're in a rattle cage. And that goes to all of us. I don't think there's any getting away from that. It's going to happen to everybody at one or another. But you learn how to cope. You learn, you learn how to adjust. So it's just all part of the process. I feel now, I mean, when you're 25 years old, when you're 30 years old, you think life is forever. When you get to my age and stage, you realize that life is so short. If you could go back and do it all again, 3 times, you would. So you got to make the most of it.
What a nice way to close it off. Cindy Breakspeare stated that everything in life that she have done, she would do it over and over again. 3 times.
When you get to my age and stage, you realize that life is so short. If you could go back and do it all again, 3 times, you would. So you got to make the most of it.
Nation, I'm sure y'all are familiar with this story. The young man who was home and police came by the premises. The young man ran to open the door, let in the police and kept his hand in the air. Though you not see it on camera, the police later shot and killed the young man and put out reports stating that it was a shootout. All over on social media talk about it right now. Even in the streets talk about it. Many are surprised by the police action. But those who know that this is nothing new. As a matter of fact, you even have on-the-spot news media talking about it. And many are saying that this is the first on-the-spot news media ever call out a police like that or call out the law like that.
Now, let me say this to members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. You see, if you go for a man and he's a criminal element, if him not knock it and clap it by you for true, carry him in and make him answer to the courts. The justice system is set in place exactly for that. Now put on yourself in an unnecessary problem. Because right now, this don't look so bossy pa, none at all. Yeah, man.
Nation, listen up. The backlash
Jamaica
gets more intense.
Behind me is a house where the youth was murdered by police on Monday right here in the Maypen, Cherry Tree Lane. For those of you who don't know Cherry Tree Lane, it's at the place where they did have, I think, a birthday party last year. And they were pounced upon by gunmen who killed off 8 people. The Prime Minister and a whole heap of police and everybody came after the incident and was so concerned about residents here and wanted to do everything to protect the people. When we pay our taxes for government workers to do their public job to protecting the people, we expect to be protected. We expect to get justice. Yeah, if we pay to get road, give we road and not cheat we. If we pay to get protection from police, give we protection, not give we a bunch of murderer. Yeah? If we pay to get good governance, not thief the country money. And that's what I say. Just give we what we're supposed to get because we pay with dues. How you think the residents of Cherry Tree Lane feel when the video shows that the youth come downstairs and the youth open the door based on video evidence and his hands was in the air. And then to hear that him point a gun pan police, he's dead. See us there. Him dead. When me step out at the front and me and the youth them attack look while, the man them nervous. Because them a say right now any one of them can dead because police and soldier threaten one heap of them. One of the youth down them tell me how the soldier them box him up and kick him down. He lost his father. Him lose 3 relatives last year from the 8 that got murdered. When you look upon the youth, as you look upon him, you will think he's a criminal. Let me tell him. I say, as you look upon you, they're going to think you're a criminal because your ear plat up and your eye then red because you're going to burn your weed. And him saying a lie, you tell dog. But we don't understand what the ghetto youth them have got to. Why most of them ear plat up. Why most of them eye red and them have to burn a spliff. We don't understand the stress enough of them have got to. Enough of them are no work. Them have a mentor. We cannot have situations where police officers are going around and displaying that kind of justice. And nobody knows say nothing about it. And who the thing call me? A resident call me. Me never know about this, you know. A man for me there when people say, yo, we want your panda one here. People them attack. Say, yo, good youth, you know. Now, I'm going to say this. Even if that young man was a criminal, who give the Jamaican police right? If he can't take their life, I can tell you who give them the right. The Minister of National Security said, shoot first and ask later. And Jamaica comfortable with that and vote me in back. The Prime Minister of Jamaica said, then if you meet them maker, judge or maker, you give the police option, and the police them choose the maker option. The police them choose the meet your maker option. 42 police upon murder charge since last year. 42! 42 police upon murder charge. Police upon murder charge. 42. 42! And on no concern. On vote them in back. Yeah? And I'm not saying that under the People's National Party ruling prior to now, that we've not had police killings and stuff. But I'm going to say this is the first we've had this in the history of the country, where more than 200 Jamaicans have been murdered by the hands of police officers, and all claim that these men were gunmen. And one thing, me go send a message and tell Jamaican police, if gunman want to kill you no, me nah ask Christ. Them a gunman that know how to find you and kill you no. I want to know that too. Enough of you to get up on the things say the country run like PUBG. The shooting game when they have PUBG or Free Fire. Want to just get up and just casually walk around with your head wrap up in a towel and something like on the Middle East. I want to face and I want to under mask and sitting like a country under war. On the no say if the gangs in Jamaica for rise up on, you know, the good police are going to get dead, you know. Good police in Jamaica are going to lose a lot because you have some drunk in the force. And I am calling on Indicom. Either we need to fire the people of Indicom, but we need some fast serving justice for the people who are being murdered. Who don't want a body chat in Jamaica? Let me tell you something, you know. You see me have one youth, you know, who have one option. You see my head? Who have to put the bullet in my head. Because me now stop represent Jamaica. And me now look likes. Me now work for no party. Me work for me and God. Somebody have to defend the youth them. The people them in a cherry tree. The people them freed. The people them outside the cherry tree lane freed. The whole of the youth setting up on them P's and Q's because them can't trust gunman and they can't trust police. There are good police officers in the force. Some good police there. Me not ask Christ. But you say majority of you, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the majority of you get corrupted Uno get corrupted. And uno think that phone way of curbing crime and violence in Jamaica is by going around and killing off these youths. Why uno never come up with some rehabilitative projects to rehabilitate the youth them? I have seen videos with police in some ghetto areas. I play football with the youth them and basketball and rehabilitate. Why make the government of Jamaica now say, let me take up the youth them in the community who are marginalized, who no have no daddy, who no have no work, and enroll and put them, enroll them into the army, make them work and serve the country, instead of going around and everybody who looks like a criminal, who no kill the people them at will. How is it you as police feel for taking life on the Jamaican brothers and sisters and go home, go kick up in a couch and watch TV? And go a bar, go sit down and want a drink, and go a party your entire life. Why uno walk on with be a people about to take a boy dopey, uno take a boy 3 pints. And you see, uno citizens in another country, you see, uno another problem, because everybody where police kill no talk, say them a gunman, when citizens come out and talk, say the people them innocent. Uno feel to say everybody where police murder, uno feel say them a gunman. Me go tell you this, me go Jamaica, a time for uno rise up. You see the youth are dead, him can't dead again, Sadly the youth can't dead. He's a graduate of Denby High School. He's a past student of Denby High School. And the principal of Denby and the whole of students of Denby, who must come out and stand up against it. There's video evidence to show that it was unjust. And we're calling for freaking swift justice. We don't have to stop it, man. We don't have to stop. Now, let me tell you this, Me no business which police want to target me, Me not afraid of nobody, Me not afraid of nobody. Me want you to my heart pure. My heart pure and clean. And right through the length and breadth of Jamaica, me a go around and turn up for the youths them. When I have to tap it wrong, it freaking wrong. I mean, I support violence. Me not support criminals. But when it's injustice, it is freaking injustice. When I do it down to the youth down at Westmoreland, when the youth come downstairs and up in the grill, and then grandmother sit down on the stairs, I want to push the youth in the back of the room, I want to kill the youth. And the black road that sit down at Westmoreland last year it happened. And nobody not say nothing in our country. When I said, when I protect criminal, it is wrong. The police job is not to do that. We must arrest, and if we know something upon the youth, if we feel him a criminal or not have evidence, we don't got the chance to arrest him legally, arrest the youth legally, and bring him in. Make the courts deal with it. That is not your job. But the Prime Minister going to the permission. And the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, he need to come out and apologize for that statement about people should meet their judge or maker. You need to come out.
Those police should be taken to court for their action. Over and over again, them do things like this and always seem to get away with it. At least this time, there was a camera to show that the young man was unarmed, did not have a firearm in his possession, quickly ran to open the door for the police, kept his hand in the air. But outside, they shot and killed him and told a lie that it was a shootout. Murderers. Not all of them still, but they are criminals in the force just as well as in the streets. The entertainment feed community. That right now, you see what time a clock, you see what time a knock. We are oriented to get the fuck out of here. And as usual, my people.